Tired of the Browns ruining your week? So are Rich and Nate. That's why we made a podcast, so we can yell with you, not at you. We're barely holding it together.
And that's the charm.
Flagrant Foul with Rich and Nate. Sports takes, bad decisions, great entertainment. Listen now before the Browns blow another lead. And now for our show.
Run this off. Run this off. Yeah. Hey, Cleveland roots with a reckless style. Take so bold, they're flagrant foul. House on the ice, Notre Dame pride. Wrestling talk about culture, ride from Rich to Nate. It's full court wild, say back, press play. It's flagrant foul. Yeah, it's flagrant foul.
What's up, people? My boy Nate. We're doing a little live recording this week for episode 15. We're getting ready to go freeze our nards off at the stadium as well. Potentially are getting ready to watch a Browns Ravens get it up the hoop. So we'll see. Nate, what you got?
I'm freezing my freaking shaft off.
Go elephant walk for you.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 15 of Flagrant Foul with Rich and Nate. I'm Nate, joined with my co-host Rich here. Quite the weekend for the fellas. I'm really sore right in here, like from yelling and freaking out like an idiot at the game. My throat, it's like not a sick sore. It's like I used my vocal cords too much or something and need to take a massage gun to them.
Yeah, you sound a little under the weather, man. I too, I sound a little better now, but not gonna lie, my voice sounds pretty good after 4 hours of me just screaming hateful things at the field and the guy next to us that made me mad, but we'll get into that later. But geez, I know I haven't let it go, but we're gonna get into it. What a weekend. I almost feel like a little bit relieved of my obligation to continue to think that we're going to make the playoffs now that we've put the final nail in the coffin this weekend against the Ravens. We started off that game. We were winning for a good portion of that game, and at no point during that game did I think we were going to win. We're always hanging on by a ragged thread. So super irritating. But what else is new? We finally got to see Shedeur. I won't overreact to that later, but yeah, I don't know. You recovering, Nate?
Yeah. Now that you bring it up, I forgot that you were trying to fight that guy next to us. And it was crazy. But yeah, I agree. I did not feel like they were going to win that game whatsoever. They're terrible.
Yeah, it was brutal. Yeah, so let's just set the background of the weekend. So I had planned to fly in, which I did. It's a nice little weekend with Nate and the Bear, hanging out, little pregame festivities, but all, planning to go to the game with HBJ and family. And then our boy Egg and Big D decided to call an audible and came in for the weekend. So nice little hang with them on Saturday night where we celebrated a nice Notre Dame beating of Pitt, and then watched the Buckeyes play no one and win again. But whichever. But that was good. We were all primed for a nice weekend. So, we went down, did a little tailgating. It was a 4:25 kick on Sunday. We opted, as the weather was kind of buns, to take it inside, and Big D hooked us up with a VIP table at Barley House. How nice of a hookup was that?
Dude,
that's pretty sweet.
I don't know how he was able to finagle that. I guess it was one of his boys that he worked at a bar with. I think he said back in the day in Orlando, but pretty awesome because I was pretty cold. The old twig and berries were not feeling too great. So the fact that we got to hang out inside was pretty awesome.
This should have been a little bit of foreshadowing as to what was to come, that you and I ran out that morning to just buy some gloves to toss away down at the game, and I lost those immediately. So that was just kind of set the tone. But yeah, it was a nice hookup. Shout out to Justin. Don't remember his last name, but what a cool dude, and thanks for the hookup. So we had a nice little spot, many beers. All of a sudden, somebody decided to bring some of the Rumplemans and some Tito's out, and, things took a turn right around there, but a good time was had by all. But when I saw our boy Egg took the jacket off and started, 3/4ing up his sweatshirt sleeves, because, we had the the old school, like the Montel Jordan and stuff was getting DJ'd and he was getting a little bit rowdy. I knew we were getting ready to go south quickly. So yeah, it was interesting, but good time there. So yeah, we were, how long were we there? Like 3 hours? It's pretty close.
I think we didn't really get there till like 1:30 or 2, and then we left at like 4 to
Yeah.
start heading to the games. However long
Yeah,
that
that
is,
was,
2.5 hours.
that was a little on the crazier side, but it was, good time. I'll be honest with you. I thought I was going to feel way worse yesterday than I did. I didn't, but
Honestly, when we got up to take you to the airport, I was not feeling too good. I was pretty rough. And like sleeping up until that point when we got up at like 6 a.m. to get you to the airport, every time I woke up, I felt like I was gonna throw up. I was drinking lots of water, but I fought it off. And honestly, even at work, over half the day, I just felt not good. Like, I don't know if it was related or what, but I've just now started to feel okay. And
well, I
maybe
had some
that was,
dehydration. I had some dehydration going on, but yeah,
I don't know.
it was good.
I did feel awesome. But, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, well, we had the whole clan together at that, so I think we can put a bow on our chat, Super Bowl 26, and it's time to rename it. Maybe next year or something. I don't know, but yeah, that wasn't good. So,
It's just
but that was
about
a
time to
pregame.
make it 27.
Yeah. So good hang with the fellows. It was fine. Then we headed over to the game. We went a little bit early. And then things turned for the better just out of, we manifested this dude. Like, did we say Beetlejuice 3 times? Nate said Meech 3 times and he just appeared out of nowhere. That was kind of sweet. So I thought things were going to go better. Yeah, it was good seeing him.
Yep, that was awesome that Meech was there. I'm I'm starting to realize that maybe I had drank more than I thought I did because I forgot that you were trying to fight that guy. I forgot that we saw Meech. Like, I don't know. But yes, seeing Meech was pretty sweet. He's just
Yeah,
like
so we did.
spawned out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was kind of sweet. So we did we went in because we had tickets all over. We hit up the Bud Light porch. That was not a bad little spot to watch the game if you're,
Mm-mm.
you're looking to buy a bunch of cheap tickets and then kind of rendezvous in an area. Precursor to what was to come. Hyatt was just already a bit of a mess. It was all over the stadium. We couldn't quite locate him. So, that was interesting. His boy Dan kept calling. Sounded like he deteriorated quickly, but hey, whatever. So let's get into the game. It was more of the same. Looked pretty awful. Defense came up there. Devin Bush, as he's played awesome all year, goes out, gets a TD. Dre goes out, does his thing. He was clutch that entire game. Then feeling we're ahead, but definitely getting ready to shit the bed in the second half of this game. And then Dylan goes down. We're all excited to see Shedeur. And I'm just going to be honest. I think in hindsight, there was probably more good than there was bad. It was a little bit of an overreaction. I don't know what we necessarily expected, but, the guy hadn't played with the ones. He's playing a tough Ravens team. The weather's not wonderful. I think there's just a lot of things. I mean, this week's going to be the week that I will start judging him. I think, being the starter, getting all the reps this week, going in playing a Buns Raiders team. I'm going to be looking to see what we have in this guy this week. I'm not like, I think he had maybe our deepest completion of the year to Harold. That was on the positive side. I think he made some plays with his feet. He did take some sacks, but the line, oh my God, our line is so bad. Like, I don't even want to talk about addressing any other position until we address the line in the offseason. It was just so bad. So I think that's a really hard game to judge. I will acknowledge people are going to be like, I can see how it could be perceived, people being all over how Dylan prayed away, and then maybe hearing the take, let's give Shedeur some grace. But I think that the circumstances are vastly different between the two. So I'll reserve judgment through this weekend. I'm not going to say he's the greatest, and I'm not going to is a bust. I'm going to say this is his time to finally, get to see what he has. I will say from a character guy, more of the same out of him, man. I think, he looked like he cared. watching him sit on the sidelines, it's like, yeah, I want to see a guy that cares. I think his comments in the post game were great. It's what I wanted to hear. Seems like a great team guy. He's accountable. He's not happy with the performance. He advocated for his guy Dylan. Comments from the locker room he tried to take on, own it, and it wasn't all on him. So I'm glad to hear that, the team stepped up and, they're building the guy up too. But, I guess kind of we expected it, right? I did not think we were going to win that game. What'd you think of them?
Yeah, I didn't think that we were going to win the game. In terms of Shedeur, I feel like there's a lot to make of it. So Dylan Gabriel got to play with the ones in training camp, and even when Flacco was still here, he was playing with the ones, getting reps in. Shedeur had not played with the ones since he came to Cleveland. Teller made a comment that he'd only heard Shedeur's cadence 1 or 2 times. That makes it difficult for him to try to go out and play. I've heard people compare it to Baker coming to LA when he showed up on the Rams midweek and then led that game-winning drive. I think it was Thursday Night Football. He got to LA on a Tuesday. I can understand how people would compare that, but it's even one day of practice is better than it's the third quarter. What's going on, guys? My name's Shedeur. I'm your quarterback for the rest of this game. Plus, Baker was a veteran at that point, so I don't feel like that's fair to compare. Something that I did like that I think the number was in 184 pass attempts, Dylan Gabriel threw 1 pass for over 25 yards, and it was 26 yards. Shedeur in 16 pass attempts threw a 25-yard pass to Harold Fannin. I thought that was quite a throw. I liked it. It did seem like some other ones weren't great. The interception, I can't tell if it was a miscommunication or just a bad throw. But everything else, that last drive where he had some incompletions, I think there was a pass to Fannin that hit his hands. And what was that? The last play, there was turnover on downs. I think it was to Judy. It wasn't the best throw.
Yeah.
But even that incompletion to Gage Larvidan in the end zone, he tried to go deep with it, and Gage had the ball. It was a good throw. He just couldn't come down with it. I think Cedric Tillman probably comes down with that. Probably not Judy because he can't catch a cold. So I liked that. Something that really bothers me that in this little bit that we saw him on Sunday, and it's the same exact thing that happened in the preseason. He's the running around and whatever. I like the scramble for a first down that he had, but Dylan Gabriel played behind the same line, and you didn't see him running around like a headless chicken back there. And I feel like that's what Shedeur was doing. I have seen pictures of there was one play where 3 linemen are on the right, 2 of them aren't even blocking anybody, and then there's someone on the left screaming through the middle. So maybe play calling probably played a factor, but it does seem like he goes to that too quickly. I mean, that's not to say that Gabriel wasn't getting pressured and getting sacked. I just don't feel like you saw the same kind of behaviors that Shedeur I don't know how to, if you're understanding what I'm trying to explain, but that was bothering me.
No, I would agree with that. I would say that is definitely, you've heard the comments about, he drop back, run around instead of kind of stepping up in the pocket. Here's the thing, though. Those are things that I think come from experience. And at this point, how many starts has Dylan had, right? So, and he's had the whole offseason where he did get reps with the 2s and some of the 1s there where we're just seeing Shedeur right now, and he's getting thrust into a game that they didn't prep him for, right? So I think this is the week to maybe make those sorts of, comments about him. The line played bad, and you're right, Dylan played behind the exact same line. But, it is interesting to me, and some of this, could be the shift from Stefanski to Tommy Rees. You've seen it all year is, Dylan's accurate, and he's, the more polished and more pro-ready quarterback. It is interesting to me, though, in a guy unprepared that you put into the game, where was the running game and we went straight to the pass. So you were throwing passes and going downfield with Shedeur, who you had a lack of confidence in, and you were supposedly afraid of his pocket presence. But then when we had Dylan, who's the more polished guy, you're throwing screens and 5-yard outs and million runs up the middle. So interesting to me. This will be the week. I'm going to go ahead and call the prediction for this week. I truly feel this in my heart, and this does not mean that absent the Browns deliberately trying to lose this game, I think he goes in as a good week of practice. I think he has some plays to learn from, but I think he has some big plays this week, and I think they beat the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, I
In
definitely
Vegas.
agree. I'm very excited to see him on a week of practice. I think, number one, they should have been discussed yesterday. I don't know if they practice on Monday after a game. Whatever their first day of practice was, because it worked out in the Panthers game. It did not work out in the third preseason game. I can't remember who they played, but the running around. I think that's a maturing, like, okay, this worked when you were playing at CU versus like New Mexico and the poop teams you were playing. But when it gets sketchy back there, like, do your thing, try to get out of the pocket, and then get rid of the ball, throw it into the stands. Like, so I definitely think that there's some things that he needs to clean up that could be cleaned up this week, and he could go out and have a great game on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't see them losing to the Raiders. They're bad, and I think even if Gabriel was playing, we were going to beat them.
I mean, they did play a
But-
Broncos team close, so like I'm not going in there. I mean, we lost to the Jets, right? But I want to give this kid a fair shake this week. He hasn't had the reps. Let's see what he can do. And at this point in the season where it's a wash, I think you've seen enough to know what Dylan's going to do. And I want to find out what Shedeur is going to do. And quite honestly, I don't think we can afford potentially, if we end up drafting another quarterback, to go into next year with both of them. So either we find a guy or we need to find out which one of them we're going to keep when we draft another guy. So I think he needs to play some. And we'll see. But yeah, it was interesting. I also found this to be a little bit interesting. I've not heard any negative comments from the team regarding Dylan Gabriel, but I don't know that I feel like I've heard him. He sort of seems like the quarterback version of Stefanski in the post-game losses, and I haven't seen anybody on his team throw him under the bus, but I haven't seen his teammates come out and openly defend him like they did for Shedeur. I do think that he's a well-liked guy.
Yeah, I think that they said that Miles was the guy that, like, Shedeur came in the locker room and tried to put the blame on himself, and he wasn't going to allow that. So the fact that, like, somebody like Miles, who is visibly unhappy here, supporting Shedeur, I mean, maybe that's the guy that, in the off season, that maybe Shedeur was the guy that they said is going to be our future quarterback, and that's perchance why Miles decided to stay in the first place, because that was like the whole thing. He said that they talked about who their quarterback was going to be in the future of the team, and he liked what he heard.
Yeah.
I don't foresee him staying for Joe Flacco, so maybe Shedeur, Dylan Gabriel, or one of those guys. I don't know. I'm excited for the Raiders game. Did you hear that Shedeur's house got broken into during the game on Sunday, and they just released like $200,000 of stuff was stolen? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's so nonsensical. That's bullshit. I feel bad for the kid. Yeah. Well, I think he's a kid that has some character and a good work ethic. I think, I'll tell you right now, say what you want. Real season games are like all the chances we gave DTR. I would much rather see Shedeur. Shedeur's a guy that's out there trying to create plays. He's going to be successful in this league at some point. And if that's not with us, maybe not. But I just think he's a hard worker. And I think he's a positive kid, and he's motivated. It's going to happen for him at some point. So whatever, like I said, I can just feel like there's a weight lifted off both our chests knowing that this team just completely shit bed, and I'm just like not even worth getting angry anymore. Like I'm resigned to just seeing what we have at this point and moving on. As much as we said, I hate this team. The fact of the matter is you and I both love this team, and I want to see them do good, and I'll be back for more misery. And at some point, I'm just going to keep only hope that we're going to actually be good, because it's going to be the greatest thing that ever happens in all the sports. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is this year. So going back to the game. So, towards the end of the game, fourth quarter, that's when things went south. Our boy Egg just straight up off the rails, crippled. Dave has to go call in, put on his, EMT outfit, pull him out of the stadium. rescue him back to the hotel. And sounds like it was an eventful evening. Nicole, we had nothing to do with that. That was on him. So whatever. Shout out to Big D for being the hero that he is. And then Nate mentioned it earlier. So I want to get into this. And my anger might have been a little bit Rumpelman's induced, but like when you go to a game, particularly if you're sitting on the very end of an aisle, people are going to get up and leave, right? Like not getting up during a crazy play, you get up 400. Like I get it. It's whatever. It's annoying, but people are going to get up to go to the bathroom. You being a dick about it because somebody got up one time and then you want to make comments like you should bring a bucket. Dude, you're at a football game. You're at a Cleveland football game. This is the stadium that we started Bottlegate, right? This is why you can't get a glass bottle. And you're going to make comments to people that have had some beers? Like you're asking to get smacked in the mouth. And no, I couldn't let it go. And I guess shout out to Nate, which, you're not off in the voice of reason, and I don't think I like it. You're supposed to be the dude that's supposed to like.
So
you're supposed to be the guy that fans the flames. Because I was ready to fight that dude, but whatever, it's fine.
I am not saying it. It was just like that dude was being a weenie hut junior. Like all he said was bring a bucket next time. Like okay, buddy, okay. And you got all mad like you're about to fight him. Like if he said something like actually rude. Like
wait a
something
minute,
that
time
like
out.
actually what?
When have you ever known me to be a rational person during the course of a game?
I'm not saying that you are, but if he said something that was actually
I'm going to be angry.
If he said something actually unnecessary and rude, then like I would be mad. But like, bro was just butthurt for whatever reason. We got up to go to the bathroom one time. He wants to make a comment. Good for him. He hates his life. He probably went home to his mom's basement and cried. Like.
It's fine. You know me. It's just, here's the difference. This is being a Browns fan, right? If we're blowing a team out, Shedeur's in there, like the vibe is just rocking and things. Guy says it, I'll be like, we're fist bumping, we're cool. But I'm already mad about the game. And I'm just looking for somebody to blame. So go get a bucket guy, face my wrath for a little bit. It is what it is. Look, and I was feeling good too. I had lacrosse stud HBJ there. I had my wrestling boys, Nate, and then Meech was close. So I'd have just said, like, let me introduce you to my guy, Meech, over here. And then I would have just stood back and not done anything. Okay. That's how I roll. I'm just saying.
All right.
Could have happened, but whichever. It's fine. So that was everybody made it home. Everybody got home safe. Sounds like we're almost recovering, and that's just what it is, I guess, for the weekend. I mean, games around the league. Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati. Quite honestly, it's not, Bills beat Tampa, some other big games. Broncos beat Kansas City. It's not even worth us doing like standings watch. It is what it is. They suck. My fantasy team sucked. I'm back on the schneid. Looks like that's going to make me miss the playoffs. And, yeah, that I'm kind of sick of NFL.
I got the win in my league that matters. And I think I got the league median win. So we are 9-13. And I am on the cusp of playoffs. Except I'm like 2 games back out of playoffs. So, but maybe I'll make a run. And I think the pot, we all paid like $20 for this league. So it'd be a pretty nice little W if I could pull it off.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, before moving on, we're going to hit a quick pause so I can rectify my technical difficulties here. So hold on a sec. All right, and we're back. Nate told me not to plug my computer.
I did not tell you that.
I just had to blame you. So otherwise, good weekend, Nate. It's pretty fun.
It was great. Good to see you, buddy. But I'll see you in how many weeks?
About 4.5. So what are you thinking? Do we just go and try to do the Bills game and just make ourselves totally miserable, or what? I could be down.
Yeah. Hayden said he was going. Hayden told me he was going, so we should go. That'll be fun.
I mean, tickets are probably 14 cents by then, so, that'll be good. Yeah. So, from the weekend, a couple other things we'll get in real quick. Nate took me to Barria. Is that the place? Barrio.
What did you
Barria.
Say?
I just combined a taco place and Barria.
And Barria.
It was Barrio. That was pretty bomb. We hit up some B-dubs to watch a Notre Dame game. We'll get into that in a minute. But I did notice this thing. Like, it's
The
interesting to me
service
that
here is poop.
service
right?
is bad. And I feel like when I moved away, I was like, man, the service is like, when we came out here, like, nothing's like the service back east. It's been bad. It's like a half a server in the place. Takes 4 hours to get a beer. This is just my thing. If you're an establishment that sells alcohol, you could literally increase your tips and your place's profit by just being punctual, because people are going to order beers almost every time you come. And like, you're just sitting there. But I will say the girl at Barrio, she was cool and acknowledged things. And I thought she tried to be on top of it. So after our delay, so otherwise that was good. Notre Dame game, man, is about time. It's starting to look like defense looked good. Ranked Pitt team. I was a little nervous just because, not that I didn't think we could beat them. I just, we seem to have we overthink a game there every year, and I was worried about this one, but we didn't. We blew them out. Cream rose to the top, and right off the bat, we put 14 on them, and that was kind of the end of
That
the
was
game.
like the dagger. It felt like immediately, like
Yeah,
it took the air out of the stadium. The momentum was shifted, and that was all she wrote for us, pretty much.
yeah, 100%. Any highlights?
I'm trying to think. We had Jeremiah Love. That run was like, how do you not give him the Heisman? That first rushing
The
touchdown, like 50
The little
some
spin
yards.
move. It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's like,
sweet.
bro's like falling over, spins, and then he's like, "Yep, I got a little space. Let me just take this to the crib really quick."
Yeah.
And then we just like answer that with a pick six. And I think I heard the only person to pick CJ Carr off in the was it the spring game, was the guy that had the pick six. So maybe that guy's gonna be a dog here in the
seriously?
future.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be well, yeah, it was kind of a blowout, uneventful game. We got 2 left. Stanford and Syracuse and Stanford, a couple of 3-7 teams.
This
We better put
Syracuse
50
game,
up.
they're starting a freshman walk-on quarterback.
Yeah, we better absolutely. We need to absolutely blow these teams out of the water. I don't think we're in any danger right now if we win out of not making the playoff. I sort of want to go to 7 or drop back to 10 and get on the other side of the bracket.
Dude, I saw this thing. So I would like to get. I dropped something. I would like to get to.
You cracking a fresh one open over there?
No, I was messing with.
Oh,
this thingy. Is it like a screen wiper? I was playing with it. Anyways,
I thought you sound like you got a fresh beer over there.
No, I need a little
little detox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, I saw this thing. Well, before I get to that, I would like to get to the home field. Let me try it for the third time.
This dude's still struggling.
Home game. I'd like to get the home game in the first round. I think it's top 8 gets the home game.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to be 8 or 9 because it's us in Oregon and then winner plays Ohio State. That doesn't really sound too awesome. So honestly, like home game or not, we're probably going to win as long as we're not like in that spot. I think we're comfortable. But I saw this thing today on Instagram, and it's like Notre Dame is 10-2, Miami's 10-2, and apparently the committee looks at head-to-head and like quality of losses and whatever, and quality of wins. And people are trying to make this case that Miami should be in over Notre Dame because they beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame played week 1, which is like, I feel like week 1 you can't really, sorry, burping. I feel like week 1 you can't really like obviously week 1, what is the word I'm trying to look for? You can't judge a team based on week 1. Like that's like the first game like they get live action since the past season. Like we're a completely different team than we were week 1. If we played Miami right now, we would beat them 100-0. And then we lost week 2 to Texas A&M. Who did Miami lose to? Louisville and SMU? Like, I know that they beat us, but...
Well, they're going to have what? They have Pitt left on the schedule. Not that we didn't
Miami
just roll
does?
in. Pretty sure, which they should blow Pitt out. But then they got Virginia Tech, a bad Virginia Tech team, and then they got Pitt, and then they'll have their conference championship. They play Georgia Tech, potentially, which... I mean, it's not a gimme game, right?
In the ACC, is Georgia Tech really the? That's a
I think
crazy
that
ACC
I don't know how
championship.
that works on the other side of the bracket, but like that's the top two teams in the ACC right now, isn't it?
ACC, Virginia, Pittsburgh. Oh, wait, in the conference. Honestly, Miami might not even make the conference championship. They're 4-2 right now. I don't know if
Yeah,
they split it because like the Big Ten does like East and West.
yeah.
So I don't know if they split it, but
I mean, the thing here right now, we're 6 spots over Miami. That's got to account for something. And Ohio State's proven that a couple times. You lose early and then come back and run like we'll be fine. We're gonna be fine. But to your point, I hope we get on the other side. This week is kind of a nothingness week. There's like what Oregon's got USC. That Oregon should blow them out. There's like no good games, honestly, until the conference championships really left on this docket. So I don't know how much movement there's going to be, barring some crazy late upset, but I think they're fine. What do you got?
Notre Dame's going to win the national championship, so none of this matters.
Yeah.
They're a better team than they were last year. I will die on that.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, kind of a boring weekend for college football. I wouldn't say there were any like terribly exciting games. Switching over to NBA, Cavs in second place. They're a couple games out, but they're playing good basketball right now. I don't think there's anything particularly concerning or to talk about. It's too early in the year. I don't know if you've paid much attention. I have not.
Not really. I
Yeah.
have like the Apple Sports, and it shows me the score like on my lock screen. So
Mhm.
that's about the extent of I know like if they win or lose, but like I can't even remember. I know we were watching on Saturday. I can't remember who they
We
were
ended up
playing,
winning.
but they were like losing the whole game, and they ended up like pulling it off, and I was like, all right, we'll take it.
Yeah, dub is a dub. For real.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're doing good. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
We're not big basketball guys, if you guys haven't figured that out
You are big.
quite yet.
Well, yeah, we're into wrestling.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was speaking of wrestling, the D1 National Duels were last weekend. Ohio State's kind of quietly made some noise in the offseason, and Tom Ryan in a couple interviews I've seen so far this year is not playing around, and the duels were an indicator of that. Dude, they ran through Nebraska. Couple of upsets in there. There was a repeat match of last year's finals with Mendez and was it Brock Hardy? Is it Hardy? He wrestled. He won. He won again. They ended up wrestling Iowa in the finals. Put it on them pretty darn good. Nick Feldman taking out. I guess that was enough. He capped it off with getting a forfeit. But in the previous Nebraska match, he took out number 1 AJ Ferrari. So they're looking pretty good. I can always butcher this dude's name, Nick Bazakis at 125. He looks like he's going to be pretty tough this year. I feel like that's down a weight too. I thought he was 33 last year. I feel like he could be kind of a hammer.
I don't
at
really know. I just think it's kind of interesting how we just spent the whole college football segment dogging on Ohio State, and now this dude's all hyped about him again because he's like kind of a Ohio State wrestling fan. Don't
Look,
really get it. Don't really
you're
get it.
not. Whatever. I don't mind Ohio State.
I'm a
wrestling fan.
Heidelberg
I like
University wrestling fan. First of all.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if Berg was in the national duels, they would have blanked them out. And they
Probably
won
it.
They weren't.
Yeah.
But they weren't. But my point is, at the end of the day, Penn State's getting ready to hoop everybody again this year. But I think,
I'm an
State's
Oklahoma
definitely in
State
contention.
fan, and I think that Oklahoma State is about to shock the world.
I don't think it happens this year. I
Not
think
yet.
he's building
They
a
need
hell of a
Jax.
program. He's building a hell of a program, but I definitely don't think that's happening yet. But I think some teams in contention for a trophy. Iowa, man, they get some studs, but it's like it just takes like the right mindset, this like go in there, grind it out, beat guys up attitude. But I just like, does that still play these days? Because it just doesn't seem like they're getting the results. I sort of feel like that style is passed them by. I'm not saying hard-nosed, tough wrestling isn't 100%, still the way of the world, but I feel like Dave Taylor and, Kale just have a way of balancing, keeping guys healthy, keeping their minds right, making sure they're having fun. Because at the end of the day, like, if you don't love it, like, are you really going to perform the best? And I think they're doing a good job of that. So, Berg wrestling last weekend, what they had a duel against ONU. I don't know who they have this week. I know that we didn't win that. I say we. Berg didn't win that. I know they're a little banged up right now. I think they had some pretty serious injuries already so far in the season. The ways of college wrestling, man, just trying to, it's a lot of miles on these guys and bodies, at that point. Just, it's really become a balance of just trying to, you want to compete for your conference. You want to get guys in the right tournaments and get competition. You're always building for, that regionals at the end of the year and trying to get guys to, nationals and all that. But just, having to try to put your best lineup out there while keeping guys healthy, when you're dealing with guys that are, 18 to 22 and have, double digit years of mat time, and that's become a year round sport. There's just there's a lot of injuries, a lot of knee injuries, a lot of rotator, a lot of head and neck injuries. It's just, that's really a challenge at this point in their wrestling career. So I don't envy what the decisions these coaches have to make, trying to, run a competitive program out there. But girls side of it, I think you had an update they ended up getting a couple wins. Who did they wrestle last week? I don't know if it was a weekend or their tournament, but I know they had a couple dubs. Sounds like they too are dealing with some injuries on a young team. It's early in the season. It's really kind of get people the experience and get through the Christmas break, and then then it's time to sort of start dialing it up for that final part of the year run. What do you think? You gonna get up there to see anything?
I think that I come here and come to BW in January that I'll for sure be at. I'd like to make it to not Kalahari anymore, but they're Christmas duels if I can, but I think I work that day, so I might go right after work or something. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll
What are they
see.
doing? Is that men and women
Yeah, I
for the
think so.
duels?
That's what it's been
Yeah.
the past 2 years or so.
Yeah.
And they're doing the youth state duels or something the day
Oh,
before.
yeah. I gotcha. Well, while we're on Berg, man, they're having a hell of a football season. I know your former teammate Drew Miller's having a hell of a year at running back, but man, they almost pulled off the win at B-Dub over the weekend. Right there. It was in their grasp. Slips away at the end. So that kind of sucks. Doesn't negate the fact they're having a great year. I think they only have a game or two left. So, yeah, that kind of suck. But oh well, that program definitely looks getting better. Avs. Dude, that was a bad transition. I had been thinking Avs the whole time. Avs, 6 straight wins. Scott Wedgwood, force in the net. Looks like Wedgie has stolen the crease from Blackwood right now. And I heard the other day, basically they're going to keep doing the tandem. Blackwood's going to be the backup, but it's Wedgie's crease to lose, as it should be. I think this is the best goaltending tandem that we have had since you and I have rooted for this team. I think they have Miner down at the AHL team of Eagles affiliate. I think that's where he should be because he's great down there and he's getting a lot of reps. So I think, at some point, guys are going to get dinged up. You're going to have to pull him up. But this goaltending situation's great. I think Blackwood is a great, consistent goalie. He is coming back from an injury, but I think Wedgie is a big game goalie. So, me personally, right now, what I've seen from the two of them when it comes to playoff time and big games are on the line, Wedgie's the guy I want in the crease. Shootouts, overtime, Wedgie's the guy I kind of want in the crease. So they're starting to get healthy. I think I saw Gerard is back. Kiwi Ranta maybe back, but I don't think he's played yet. And then I have not heard an update on LOC. I also know Nichushkin got banged up last week. He was day-to-day, though, so I don't think that was anything major. The captain, got a couple goals last week, so he's trending up. Net just continues to just dominate since signing that contract, as does McKinnon. So, all around, you're starting to see that second line, too, contribute a little more. Brock Nelson's putting the puck in the net. Lakinen's putting the puck in the nets. The Avs, dude, they've played 19 games and they've lost 1 game. That's kind of ridiculous at this point in the year.
Well, they had overtime losses.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing. I mean, when you look at the entire league, they're the only team. They have 1 loss. They have 5 OT losses, but when you gain a point in the standings, like an OT loss, yeah, it sucks, particularly if they come back to tie it and you lose an OT. But a point is a point is a point. They're in first place. Dallas is starting to play a little better. I really don't care. I'm fine with them being 1 and 2, and I really don't care the order of it. I don't want to be in that potential, what were we last year, 2-3 spot where we may have to play them. In the first round. I know every year's different, but I don't want to play them in the first round Jamie Ben's coming back. I can't stand him, freaking scumbag. So like they're getting stronger and better, but we'll see. We don't play them again too until I think like after Christmas. So I'm just sort of anxious. I think they're in our head a little bit. I do think we're a better team, but I just feel like the Dallas is in our head a little bit. Did you see this crazy Jack Hughes injury? I can't even like find any. Like what
Like
happened?
he cut his hand at team dinner or something. Or
Dude's out
cut
like
him. I don't
6
know if it was
weeks
his
or
hand,
something
but
though.
yeah, it's crazy.
Like I don't even know how. Like there's definitely some jackass in a route that went
Oh,
down.
there was some hijinks for sure, some alcohol. Like that's why no one knows what happened, because they don't want to. The Devils don't want to come out and be like, yeah, Jack Hughes cut his hand off because he drank 75 beers and then was trying to juggle knives.
I just like foresee them like at a steak dinner and he's using like a giant knife, like kind of reminiscent of me with the turkey carving knife when we did the old Schulman St. Bernard Thanksgiving trip over there, and he's just like hamming around, cuts his hand off, like. But that's kind of crazy injury there. But yeah, we shall see. Was the other injury I was going to talk about moving away from hockey, dude? Have you seen? Well, first off, Cam Scadaboo's like live stream is awesome. And that's a little plug for him. If you don't watch it, you need to be watching it. That dude is, I don't know what's wrong with him, but he is must-see TV. Have you watched any of that?
He's a nut job. I saw he was like at, I don't know if this was before his injury. It looked like it just happened, that he was like at
The WWE?
like, trying to fight people. Didn't that look like it was just happened?
That's how I was going to next, because I was like watching his live stream. He's like, I could put my foot. He's like twisting his ankle around, showing his mobility, and the next thing I know, he's like beefing with dudes at WWE, which it looks like it's recent. I was like,
and he has the thing on his shoulder. Did you see that?
Yes.
So
the belt?
I don't know. Huh? No, not the belt. I don't know what it is. Keenan Allen has this as well. I think some injury happened, and now like their shoulder has like a bump like this, and it just sticks out. And I don't know what it's from. I don't know, but he was like on his live stream going like this. He's like, I could itch my face with it. It's like, I'm like, what is this guy on? But yeah, I don't know what that injury is. But I know Keenan Allen has the exact same thing, and it's like a growth. He was calling it something funny, but I can't remember what he was calling it.
Yeah, he's a bit of a meatball. I don't know. It was great, but that was about all in the last week. Again, a little bit of a subdued week. I think we're recovering. We hit it pretty hard. Like I said, I wouldn't say like, we said that we drank all the beer. We didn't. That, if you're hearing we drank a lot of beer, hear me a little bit more explicitly. We drank all of the beer this weekend, which, and then we had to pour a little bit of, gasoline on the fire there. So it is what it is. But yeah, exciting week. Fun to see everybody. Again, shout out to Dave. Hit us up with the swag. Thanks for the Orange County Fire stuff. Looking pretty sweet. He's at Icon, as is Hyatt. If you ever get a chance to party with this guy, it's basically like watch The Hangover, multiply it by 10. That's your evening with Chris. And then shout out to the fam. Meg, my sister and crew showed up, so that was cool to see him. So shout out to Mary Margaret. And that was the weekend. That was the week. How about you, man? Any parting thoughts? You gonna be all right over there?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, I did. Yeah. I will touch on this. So I went in to play handyman. I diagnosed a bunch of problems in your apartment, fixed none of them, so that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's weird. The shower's still doing that thing.
So I told you what was wrong with the shower. It's not fixed. And I told you what's wrong with the sink. It's not fixed. And I told you what was wrong with the closet door, not fixed. Although I will say your tool selection subpar. Well, I did sort of fix the door. It is. That piece could be replaced.
It seems better. The shower is doing a little Talladega Nights. It's like, how do I take a shower while I'm taking a bath? Why do you want to do that? Because I like to party. It's like, why only come out of one thing when it can do both?
Can we get into this one, because I got to know what your routine is here. There's a lot of lotions and potions and shit going on inside that shower. Like, what section of that is yours? There's a lot of Nate's things like, The men's like oak barrel aged smoked body lotions. I was like, what the frick is that?
That's not true. That's not true.
What is that?
We have a 3-tiered thing, and on top, I have a 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner. Then I had just like a regular body wash that smells scrumptious. But then I also had a acne body wash because I had like all those like pimple things on my thighs. So I started using that stuff. So I use it. If I take a shower in the morning, I use the good smelling stuff. But if I'm taking a shower at night, I use the acne one because I don't need to be smelling good. I'm going to bed anyways. But the one you're talking about, we went to Bath and Body Works and they had body wash for like $5 and it's usually $15. And I'm not gonna not get it smells amazing.
I was like, is this a whiskey or is this like a body lotion? Or
I believe
what's
it's
going on
mahogany and teak wood, buddy. So if you're gonna talk about it, get it correct.
I didn't know what area to go. I didn't know what
I could smell like poop.
Like
there could just been a turd up there that I used to wash myself. Would you rather me that?
Don't get me started on that.
Okay, buddy.
Jabber. So there was that. I am gonna. I will fix the shower thing when I'm there for Christmas. The other thing I'll talk about. I love the fact that like Alexa, just like 5:45, is just
lets you know what the weather is in Berea.
It's literally like it's Saturday, November 15th. The weather is 42 degrees outside and it's 5:45. Like, so that I mentioned it, you're like, oh, it's still doing that? Are you dead at night? I don't know how you guys are all waking up every day and going like, shut the fuck up, Alexa.
I had no idea that it was doing that. The only reason I knew it was doing that is because Sunday, maybe, I woke up, went to the bathroom, had to take a quick little 5 a.m. dump. I don't know why. Just woke up with a crazy stomach ache. And while I was in the bathroom, I heard her talking. I was like, what is going on in here? Why are we getting a narration of our day? But
dude, it was loud. The fact that you guys didn't know it, your Alexa's kind of a dick. Like,
oh, she doesn't listen.
She will not. Alexa, turn the lights on. She doesn't listen.
She doesn't do that. She does what she feels like when she feels like.
That was interesting. But and then your upstairs neighbors, I'm pretty sure, are nocturnal. And I know you don't know what that means because those people,
yes, I do.
They straight up do not sleep. I'll be like,
no.
Are you just like, do you get like 30,000 steps at night?
Bro just walks around dribbling a basketball and sounds like he's smoking 12 packs a day. Just like coughing up a freaking lung.
Yeah, that was interesting. But otherwise, your place is cool, cute, liked it, enjoyed it. It was a good stay. Thanks for the hospitality. It was, like I said, we'll see you in a few weeks. I'm sure we'll get up to some other craziness. We do have to talk about this Uber story. We had 2 Ubers, right? And it was really just kind of a case study in who to be and who not to be, right? So I'm going to start with the Uber that you should, which was our second ride to the game. So, bro, we schedule it. He shows up in the car he's supposed to be in. He's got some nice smooth jazz playing at a just very relaxing, acceptable level. You know, we get in the car, are you so-and-so, where you going? A couple just really chill pleasantries, and then we're off on a ride, and he's like, nothing to say. He was very concerned about your leg room, you know, and just ensuring you had a nice ride.
Me and him were comfortable.
You guys were conjoined at one point.
Like,
yeah,
his chair was in my lap.
Yeah,
but that's besides the point.
I mean, in certain, completely unintended, in certain situations that could be considered as assault. How close you two were. You were the equivalent of car spooning.
Yeah.
At one point, but great. Be that guy. That's the guy to be. But the first Uber, when we took it over to, what was the name of that place?
Game On.
Game On, yeah. That guy shows up. So, first of all, don't show up in the vehicle you're supposed to be in, but then just giving us 5 minutes on your truck being stolen, but you also just started driving, and I don't know what was going on, but bro didn't know his age, which I don't know how you know that.
42,
Doesn't know his kid's age. I'm pretty sure this dude still lives in his mom's basement, but he's berating that his son's smoking pot in his basement and is not out picking up girls. Seems kind of judgy for a guy who definitely does Dungeons and Dragons in his mom's basement. Um, and then that whole fake story about doing landing gears. I was
Oh
like,
yeah, that
bro,
thing doesn't make anything, but
yeah,
never mind. I was
you
gonna
know,
make it funny.
so you know, you know that I'm like not the biggest fan of flying and travel and everything else. And then to know that this guy, if there's like any truth to what he was saying, like I'm terrified to know that this dude's putting landing gears on airplanes. But yeah. And then bro was like, that dude sounded like he was trying to talk through a CPAP machine and like would not shut the fuck up the entire ride. So like, don't be that guy. Go in, read the room, maybe don't talk so much. It was, yeah, that was interesting. So I had flights. I flew not the green airline this time, and most on time departures. Um Cruise security, through security on both ends. Like that's probably one of the best round trip flight, like everything going smoothly I've been on. And the only slight potential hiccup was the chick on the way in that was just absolutely beefing at some dude on her FaceTime, refused to turn her phone off. But no, pretty bad plane etiquette. Also, I think I do need to throw a new controversial opinion out here on something. We'll see. So, this, I'm not judging. I'm not bringing up any body issue or, we're body positive on this show because God knows we've hit the LBs. But when you're talking middle seat, big person, buying 2 seats and the whole bit, I found a new person potentially that could be more challenging to sit next to. I had like skinny, tall, super athletic, like swimmer guy that had like the super broad shoulders. So he's in the middle seat, like all skinny, like here with his big shoulders. And I'm literally just sitting on the end like this the whole time because this couldn't like put my shoulder back because he was so big. So like I would say, just to support our bigger listeners out there, if they're making you buy 2 seats, I think these swimmers with the big shoulders need to buy 2 seats because that dude definitely shouldn't have been a middle seat. He kind of messed up my flight on both way or with the one direction. I wasn't as comfortable as I could have be. Um, Caught some movies on the way there. Invincible, not an Eagles fan, but that's a fun one. Little true story Vince Papali action. Dude makes the team. That was pretty sweet. Watch that on the way there. And then I don't think I shared this with you because when I asked you what movie I said, you said Rudy. So I pulled the trigger on Rudy on the way home. There's nothing like you're on the flight, it's pretty turbulent, and I'm on there watching the movie, and we got the Rudy chant going on. Old Pops is in the stadium going, "This is the most beautiful sight these eyes have ever seen." And I'm getting all choked up. Get the Rudy play, and he gets the sack. I'm trying not to cry. So, I was getting emotional watching Rudy in that movie a little bit. I was getting a little emotional.
You worked
Everything
so
about
hard
it.
for this.
I was like,
You really earned
you
that.
little guy. Now, I watched somebody to do an unauthorized real version of that movie that actually was around during those days. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I love that video or that movie, and it's a
Bro,
great story.
it was all
but I want to hear the
fake. They were
bros.
all clowning
Yeah.
on him. They all
Oh,
hated him.
Like, first of all, that dude was so small. I would have been just laying him out every day. Like, you're in here trying to be a hard ass to make people look bad. You're getting absolutely dropped in practice. And then on top of that, like that entire scene is like, you're an All-American and the team captain. Act like it. I believe I am. There's no fucking way any of them were in the office giving their jerseys. Those guys were all like, I've been playing football, lifting weights, busting my ass like my entire life. And I'm here. And then like this little dude like faked his way onto the team and I'm supposed to just like give up my starting spot. No, that didn't happen. I don't believe that happened. I mean,
It didn't. It didn't.
yeah, I want to know. So I want to see the unauthorized version where he's just getting clowned on the entire time. Yeah, like, whatever. But yeah, it was good. So anyway, that was all my weekend. I thought you would enjoy. I gotta find some more. I've been like running out of, I feel like I've watched like all of the good sports, like underdog or true story movies. So you got any good ones for me?
I haven't to watch Miracle, but I know we've seen it 100 times.
I was like the seat like up and over from me. I'm like watching, and it's like just like Division One wrestling. Like, what do you want? Like, movie you watching? It was the documentary about Ohio State athletic trainers just like molesting people.
Oh,
I was like, oh,
okay.
what do you guys? Oh, never mind. I'm not trying to watch that movie right now.
Just kidding.
Yeah, but there is. Oh, who's the kid from Utah Valley? Is it Ben Sar, who All-American? The kid that had like I can't think of what he had some sort of a growth, like an issue with like a growth of his face, whatever. And he underwent all these surgeries, and then the kid ended up being all like, it's pretty awesome. The dude got like should have won offers. I'm pretty sure it's Ben Sar. That looks awesome. He's freaking a dog, man. That was awesome. I want to watch that. I think he was like a 3-time state champ. Like definitely was an underdog. There's another one wrestling movie coming out, but yeah, there's a couple. I also learned today that but I didn't realize this, that Vision Quest, the dude that wrote Vision Quest, so the books from like, I want to say late 70s. I want to read it and see how much different it is, but he also made a cameo in the final scene of the movie. So now I want to rewatch it and check that bad boy out. So anyway, well, you look plumb tuckered out there, little fella.
Yep, a little bit.
Yeah. Is somebody eating over there?
Possible.
I just hear
Crazy,
like
man.
somebody like fork on plate just going to town
Going
over there.
ham.
She going ham in
Possible.
the background. So, all right. You hear it? I could just be crazy.
Yeah, maybe.
It could be the Rumpelman's after effects that are
Yeah.
having to me.
Yeah.
Hell, by the I swears he got roofied. Nice try, brother. It's just good.
Did.
Huh?
He did.
No, here's the problem. You showed up as Hyatt and you let the egg out. And anytime you let the egg out, dude, it's just a good thing that we had a hero and a public safety official and Dave Coughlin there to help freaking keep that dude under control, because it could have gotten a lot worse. But anyway, all right, bud. Well, till next week. That's all we got.
Alrighty.
Stay classy, Cleveland. Nader.
Peace out.
All right, later.
Backbeat kicks in crowd noise, racial blows.